Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss some 8 to 10 questions from child health nursing based on the NCLEX pattern. So, let's begin this. First question is, a clinic nurse in a well baby clinic is collecting data regarding the motor development of a 15-month-old child. Which of the following is the highest level of development that the nurse would expect to observe in this child? Okay, so your options are: the child turns a doorknob, child unzips a large zipper, child builds a tower of 2 blocks, and the child puts on simple clothes independently. So, the answer of this question is child builds a tower of 2 blocks. Why? Because at the age of 15 months, the nurse would expect that the child could build a tower of 2 blocks. Okay, a 24-month-old child would be able to turn a doorknob and unzip a large zipper. So these activities are at the age of 24 months. And the child puts on simple clothes. This option. This is we generally see at the age of 30 months. Okay. So at the age of 30 months, the child would be able to put on the simple clothes independently. Okay. And how did you approach? What was the approach of this answer? Just note the age of the child and the strategic word which is used in the question, that is the highest level of development. Okay, and visualize each of the motor skills presented in the options, and that will assist you to choose the correct option. Okay, let's proceed towards the next question. Next question is, a nurse is caring for a hospitalized school age child. The nurse determines that an appropriate play activity for the child is which of the following? And your options are given below. So, see, in a school age child, play becomes organized with more direction. So, option 3 is appropriate for a school age child. That is, hand sieving a pictured. Okay, and push pull toys are appropriate for the toddler. And option 2, playing a peekaboo, is appropriate for an infant. And option 4, listening to music, is appropriate for adolescent. So the right option is option C. Okay, and how did you approach? What was the approach? Note the age group of the child. That will help you to answer this question. Option 2 can be eliminated because this activity is appropriate for an infant. Eliminate option 4 because this activity belongs from adolescent group. Okay, and that's how you pick the right option. Next question is, a nurse is preparing a plan of care for a child with leukemia who is scheduled to receive chemotherapy. Which intervention will the nurse include in the plan of care? And your options are given below. Okay, see, when the child is receiving chemotherapy, the nurse should avoid taking the rectal temperature. Okay, so this eliminates your option A. And oral temperatures are also avoided if mouth ulcers are present. Auxiliary temperature should be taken to prevent alterations in the skin integrity. Meticulous mouth care should be performed, but the nurse should avoid alcohol based mouth washes and should use a soft bristled toothbrush. Okay, so that is why eliminate option 4 also. And C, option C. For option C, fresh fruits and vegetables need to be avoided because they can harbor the organisms, and because the client is leukemic, right? He is on chemotherapy and chemotherapy can cause neutropenia. So the child should be maintained on a low bacteria diet if the white blood cell count is low. So option C will be eliminated because of this reason. And now the answer is option B, obviously, because nurse should assess the mouth and anus each shift for the assessment of ulcers, breakdown, any kind of breakdown. Okay, and for the approach of this answer, you can read each option carefully and think about the side effects that can occur with the chemotherapy, and that will direct you to the option B. Okay, next, a preschool child is placed in the traction for the treatment of a femur fracture. The child, who has reportedly been toilet trained for at least 1 year, begins bedwetting. The nurse recognizes this as, and your options are given below. So now choose your answer, use your brain, pause the video. Okay, now see. Wait. Okay, so the monotony of the immobilization can lead to the sluggish intellectual and psychomotor responses. Regressive behaviors are not uncommon in the immobilized children, and they usually do not require professional interventions. Although the loss of the developmental milestones may seem like an appropriate option, regression to the earlier developmental behavior is the more accurate description of the psychological effects of immobilization. Body image may or may not be affected by the long-term immobilization, but it does not relate to the information presented in the question. Okay, so the answer, the most appropriate answer of this question would be option D, right? And what was the approach? Use the process of elimination. eliminate option 1 because it is unrelated to the question. Then eliminate option 3 because bedwetting is by an immobilized child is not unusual. Okay, and a child psychologist is not needed. From the remaining options, recalling that regression is a normal psychological response to immobilization will direct you to the option 4. Review the psychological effects of immobilization. If you had difficulty with this question. Next question. A nurse prepares a teaching plan regarding the administration of eardrops for the parents of a 6-year-old child. The nurse tells the parents that when administering the drops, they should. Options are given below. Read your options. Okay, so the right answer for this question is tell me. Now see the explanation. The to administer eardrops in a child who is more than 3 years old. More than 3 years. ठीक है. The ear is pulled upward and back. Upward and back. This is upward. ये upward का U है. Upward. ठीक है. So the ear is pulled down and back in the children less than 3 years. If the child is less than 3 years, then the ear is pulled down and backward. Okay. So gloves do not need to be worn by the parents. Gloves do not needed. Then, but hand washing before and after the procedure needs to be performed. The child needs to be in a side-lying position. Okay. With the affected ear facing the upward to facilitate the flow of medication down the ear canal with the help of gravity. Right? So that's how you approached, and your option is right answer is option 2. Okay, and if you have any difficulty, review this procedure. Next, a nurse is performing an assessment on a child and the parents report the presence of ribbon-like foul-smelling stools, episodes of constipation since birth, and poor feeding habits. The nurse notes a distended abdomen. Based on these data, the nurse analyzes these signs and symptoms as indicative of. So this is a direct question. Choose your option, and options are given below. Okay, so constipation with ribbon-like foul-smelling stools is particularly characteristics of Hirschsprung disease. Okay, a distended abdomen, poor feeding habits, irritability, and signs of undernutrition are also characteristics of this disease. Inguinal swelling indicates inguinal hernia. Okay, and projectile vomiting indicates pyloric stenosis. Intussusception is indicated by acute colicky, abdominal pain, and current jelly-like stool. So from the given data, we can easily choose the correct option, which is option D. Right? Next. Okay. A nurse is performing an assessment of a child who is to receive a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. The nurse notes that the child is allergic to the eggs. Which of the following would the nurse anticipate being prescribed for this child? And your options are given below. You can pause the video as per your convenience. Okay, see, measles vaccine. It is produced by chick embryo cell culture, right? So the possibility of an anaphylactic hypersensitivity in the children with egg allergies should be considered. The nurse should take a thorough history of the allergy to a previous MMR and report this to the physician. If this is the first MMR, the physician should be aware of the egg sensitivity before administering the vaccine. Okay? So, the right answer would be taking a careful history about the allergy and reporting this to the physician before administering the MMR vaccine. This is option C, right? So use the process of elimination. Option 1 can be eliminated first because a vaccine would not be eliminated from the immunization schedule. Option B and option D can also be eliminated. Next, knowing that the use of medications before a vaccine is not a normal procedure. Okay, and note that the option 3 addresses the first step of the nursing process, that is the assessment. Okay, so the right answer would be option C. Next. Okay, so this video ends up here, and if you want more videos like this, if you want more content like this, please do subscribe our channel and give your support, give your love by liking this video and by sharing with your friends. Thank you and have a good day.